Hey, friends. Want to share a little practical example of the power of spacecraft, which is a form of meditation using your toroidal field, which, if you don't know, is the electromagnetic field generated by your heart that surrounds your body. It's this spherical biofield that we all have, that all living beings, that all beings have. And so, when I was taught to meditate, it was this thing where you go and sit on your cushion, and it's a little bit of the separate space, and you go and sit, and then you go about your daily life, and that obviously has its benefits, but the practice of spacecraft, this toroidal field meditation, is available in any moment throughout the day. And so here's this example of how it worked for me in real life one time. So I've played soccer my whole life, and I was playing with my men's league team. And, I was sort of tired. I'd made a couple mistakes, and I was like, I should sub myself out. I'm sort of screwing up right now. And I was at midfield, and I was just having this moment of like, I'm winded. And and then I remembered to remember, which is always the hardest part, and took a moment, went back and down, spun my field, and then started jogging downfield and found myself in the box, and the ball was bouncing around, and all of a sudden the ball was coming down from overhead, and literally, like, I didn't jump or anything, and there were people all around, but no one came near me, and the ball just hit my head and bounced into the goal. And and so when I went to the sideline, all my teammates were like, "What happened? Like, why didn't anybody challenge you for the ball? There were people all around, but you literally just stood there and nobody came near you." And I love my soccer buddies, but I wasn't at halftime going to try to explain the metaphysics of toroidal fields, electromagnetics, and the practice of spinning my field to create a healthy boundary, and how it like restabilized me, brought my mind and body back into this centered place, and then it literally created this subtle boundary in the field that kept everybody at bay, that nobody intruded into. And in that moment, it created a goal for my team. How great! But this is something you can practice on a daily basis, standing in line at the grocery store, in traffic. Put a toroidal field around your car and notice how traffic changes. The other amazing application that it has is like at concerts. If you're in a crowd, trying to jostle for position, or trying to be with your little crew, and maybe you've had the experience of you're with your crew in a crowd, and somebody else who's trying to find their place comes and stands like right in the middle of your squad and doesn't have this sort of spatial awareness. And again, I've had these moments where I'm not fully conscious, and I'm getting jostled, and people aren't respecting my space, and that can be frustrating until you remember to remember, and okay, come back to center, down and in, spin the field, create that toroidal spherical space around you. And it is amazing to see how people naturally sort of drift away and give space, and including expanding the field to include my whole crew, and then all of a sudden we're in this nice dynamic, and we're all together and have room to dance, and it works amazingly. It's impactful every time, and really a fun thing to play with, expanding and contracting it. Because that's the other thing, when there literally just is not enough space, you can always keep your field 50% of the distance between you and whoever's around you, and that creates the sense of containment where even when we're squished together, I still feel energetically like I'm in my bubble. I've got my little filter through which the outer world has to go. So, spacecraft, toroidal field meditation, super, super practical, useful form of meditation that literally takes a split second, the length of a heartbeat, to apply once you remember to do it. So lots more to talk about. Toroidal fields are my favorite thing to talk about. So there's more about this coming. So here on Substack, absolutely, or sign up for my newsletter to get more and more detail about that. So cool, great, have fun, see you out there.